has been Paula Radcliffe. Well, now the world record of Bridget Kosgei is about to be resigned to history, because this will be the world record holder surely in just a very few minutes time, about 7 minutes away. Tigist Assefa through 40k in 2:05.14, 2:05.13. There is the first German, yes.
Emanuel Petros coming home in 2:04.59. So he said he was on 2:04 shape. It's a huge personal best. He's taken over a minute off his previous lifetime best on debut in Berlin, and surely has qualified for Paris next year in the Olympic Games. Well done to Emanuel Petros, the German #1.
Through 40k then in 2:05.14. Bridget Kosgei went through 40k in 2:07.11. She's 1 minute 57 seconds ahead of Bridget Kosgei, and still looking strong. The shoulders, the arms maybe beginning to roll from side to side a little bit more. Jared Ward there. Well, he was 6th in the Rio Olympic Games, was Jared Ward, coached by my old mucker, my old friend Ed Eyestone, great marathon runner and 10,000 meter runner of years gone by. Jared Ward, the supremely cerebral marathon racer. Now in the latter years of his career, he would be the first to admit that. But here, chasing the leading woman, I wonder if pride will make him stick with her and ease past her once they're through the Brandenburg Gate. Gebru is, of the three, is the one who's had to do the hard running. Gebru, the pacemaker, really straining here to help Assefa through these final few kilometers to the finish line. Chris, she is trusting, relying upon Gebru. They're linked together. They're by a band no more than about a meter long. She is stuck with him kilometer after kilometer, and he has been the most wonderful, wonderful lead for her.
Well, he's done all the heavy lifting, hasn't he? And he's made it relatively straightforward for her. But he looks as though he's really suffering now, and he's just gesturing, and maybe he's about to move and give her clear daylight. They're approaching 41 kilometers. They've got just 2 more turns before they come into Unter den Linden. And as we saw with Eliud Kipchoge, once that final turn is negotiated and the Brandenburg Gate comes into view, then the heart can lift, and then you know you're home.
Well, the first time 2:20 was broken for the marathon was here in Berlin. Naoko Takahashi back in 2001 for Japan, winning with 2:19.46. Now, there are no less than 65 women who have broken 2 hours 20 for the marathon. Jared Ward there to the left of picture, just striding out, feeling strong, maybe feeling he was almost hypnotized by sticking behind Assefa when he knew he could go a little bit quicker. But it matters not a jot, because Gebru, rightly there, saying to Assefa, come on, move to the fore, get the glory yourself. I think he's very aware here that maybe he's sort of hogging the camera shot, and it's not his fault. World record 2:14.04, you can see bottom right of picture there by Bridget Kosgei. That back in Chicago on the 13th of October 2019 was a historic improvement. The world record prior to that was Paula Radcliffe's 2:15.25 in London back in 2003. Well, it's about to take another massive jump, a bigger jump even than Kosgei managed 4 years ago, and we never thought we'd see that, Chris.
No, we didn't. I think the gesturing is to make sure that she sticks to the shortest line, the blue line, making sure she doesn't waver even by a few centimeters. There is again, pointing to the blue line. That's your line, and there's the prize, and there's the Brandenburg Gate.
The Brandenburg Gate then beckons for Tigist Assefa, the 2022 champion, who in winning 12 months ago in 2:15.37 became the 3rd fastest woman in history, is going to be the 2023 champion, but it's a very different story. She's running here towards a place in the history books. She's running towards a new world record, and she's going to better the world record of Bridget Kosgei from 4 years ago in Chicago by possibly more than 2 minutes. At 41k, her clocking for the kilometer was 3:03. Her projected time, 2:12.01. Now, if she can rally this last few hundred meters, could she break the 2:12 barrier? Unheard of improvement from this woman, Tigist Assefa, 29 years old, in only her third ever marathon. There's Gebru, her pacemaker, who has done such a marvelous job. He's coached her through, coaxed her through, and now she approaches the Brandenburg Gate. It will be her retaining of the title here in Berlin, and he gestures her on with a wave there, almost a push through the Brandenburg Gate and into the glorious Berlin sunshine for Tigist Assefa. Look at the clock, 2:11 on the clock. She's got 300 meters to go. Can she get under 2:12? I think she can. She's going to better the world record, possibly here, by over 2 minutes. She's striding away now. This is the young girl who many years ago, back in 2014, ran 54 seconds for 400, a world-class 1:59 for 800 meters. And today, she becomes world record holder in the marathon, surely. A couple hundred meters to run. Tigist Assefa takes the world record to Ethiopia, snatches it from the grasp of Brigid Kosgei of Kenya from 4 years ago in Chicago. A few meters to go. Still no smile, still that focus, and the world record is hers. And look at the clock, 2 hours, 11:52, unofficially. History is made. It is writ large in spectacular manner here in Berlin. 2:11:52. Let that sink in. I love it. Stops her own watch, maybe some 30 seconds or so too late. But her coach there, Gebru Geramimedu, giving her a huge hug. She took 2.5 minutes off the course record last year, while she's just locked more than 3.5 minutes of her own course record from a year ago. And we are in science fictional territory here. Gebru gives her a huge hug. What a job he's done as her pacemaker throughout, all the way through to about 42 kilometers. He left the glory stretched to her. But Chris, that is the marathon performance of the year, the marathon performance in many respects for many years from Tigist Assefa. A delightful story from a young woman last year who shocked us all with that personal best by 18 minutes. Who thought she'd improve her personal best by over 3 minutes in a huge new world record today?
Well, that is life-changing, isn't it? What a privilege to have witnessed that here in Berlin. And I'm looking at the numbers again. 2:11:52. I mean, there are some 800 meter runners who will be pleased with that as the numbers for an 800 meters race on the track, 2:11. But it's 2 hours, 11 minutes, 52 seconds. No wonder the coach is delighted. Little bit of history. And just a word about Paula Radcliffe. We haven't mentioned it already in commentary, but she's out on the course today, pacing a group at around 3:30 pace. And when you think about, Tim, the 2:15:25 that stood for over a decade, this has just sent that world record into the stratosphere. Brigid Kosgei, 2:14:04, and now 2:11:53 is the official time. 2:11:53, a new women's marathon record.
Just staggering. No wonder she's giving those shoes a kiss. They have carried her well all the way through to the performance of all time in the women's marathon. Conditions perfect this morning in Berlin, but so many other things